All right, let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? You crush a workout, feeling great, strong, maybe a little sweaty, obviously. And then you catch that whiff from your leggings, maybe your shorts, and it's this like lingering, really distinct smell, sometimes musty, sour, maybe even a bit fishy. And it just sticks even after they've been washed. It's so frustrating. A bit uncomfortable, maybe even, well, embarrassing sometimes. So here's the big question we're tackling today. What if that smell isn't just, sweat or the fabric itself? What if it's actually a really important signal coming from inside your body, telling you something about your internal balance? That's exactly what this deep dive is all about. We're going to unpack how your internal workings really play a huge role in that post-workout odor. We'll look at why the usual fixes often don't cut it, and importantly, how you can actually address the root cause. Our goal is to arm you with the knowledge so you can feel genuinely fresh, confident after any workout.
It's such a common thing people think, isn't it? You immediately blame the sweat, or you think, oh, these workout clothes are just doomed. But the really fascinating part, and maybe, yeah, a little uncomfortable to think about, is the real culprit could be your vaginal microbiome, or vaginal flora, as it's also called, this internal bacterial balance. It can actually cause odors that seem to come right from you.
Oh, yeah.
And these odors, they can leach into the fibers of your clothes, which is why your gear might still smell even after a wash cycle.
It's fundamentally a microbial issue, not just a laundry one.
Wow. That's kind of ironic then, isn't it? That exercising, which is so good for us, can actually set up the perfect conditions for this odor issue,
Yeah.
but only if that internal flora isn't quite strong enough.
Absolutely. Think about the workout environment itself. You've got heat, you've got moisture. That's basically a prime breeding ground for bacteria.
Right.
Then add tight clothes, often synthetic, which trap sweat and can mess with your natural pH.
And the friction, too, I guess.
Mhm.
From leggings, maybe. Exactly. Friction can irritate sensitive tissue. And then a lot of people, quite understandably, wash up right after working out. But sometimes that means using harsh soaps or cleansers that strip away the good protective bacteria along with the sweat.
Huh. Didn't think about that.
And there's more. Intense training, that can raise stress hormones like cortisol. And believe it or not, that stress response can subtly shift the bacteria in your gut and your vagina. Plus, sweat itself can slightly increase skin pH, making it a better environment for those odor-causing bacteria. And yeah, frequent showering with harsh soaps just washes away more of that protective flora.
So the smell isn't just sweat. It's these bacterial byproducts you mentioned.
Precisely. It's the waste products, essentially, unwanted bacteria that start to take over when your good flora is out of balance.
Okay, you keep saying vaginal flora. Can we break that down a bit more? What exactly is it and why is it so central here?
Sure, your vaginal flora is this really delicate but actually very powerful community of bacteria, mostly a type called lactobacillus. Its main job, its crucial role, is to maintain a slightly acidic environment down there. The ideal pH is somewhere between 3.5 and 4.5.
Okay, acidic.
Yeah, and that acidity acts like a natural barrier. It keeps the microbes we don't want, things like Gardnerella or E. coli or even yeast like Candida, from overgrowing and causing issues, including odor.
So when everything's working well, when that flora is healthy, what does that look like or smell like?
Generally, when your flora is balanced, you'd expect a neutral scent or maybe very slightly sweet. It's your natural scent. Any discharge is usually clear, maybe a little white. You feel moisture, but without irritation or itchiness. Basically, your body's natural pH is doing its job, keeping infections and unwanted smells at bay.
Makes sense.
But when that ecosystem gets disrupted, and it can happen easily from things like synthetic fabrics, trapped sweat, harsh soaps, antibiotics, birth control, even diet changes,
Yeah.
your pH can shift. It becomes less acidic.
And that opens the door.
Exactly. It allows what we call anaerobic bacteria. These are bacteria that thrive in low oxygen environments, or yeast, to multiply. And when they flourish, they produce byproducts like sulfur-based compounds.
Ah, sulfur. That explains the pungent smell sometimes.
That's often the culprit behind those really strong, noticeable odors. And like we said, those odors can really embed in fabrics.
Okay, this is super helpful. So for you listening, how can you tell if maybe your vaginal flora is sending out some signals? What are the signs it might be off?
Well, some common indicators would be a strong odor, maybe sour, maybe that fishy smell, particularly after you exercise. You might also notice that same smell really clinging to your underwear or your yoga pants, even after you've washed them.
Right, the laundry problem again.
Other signs could be irritation or itching after sweating, maybe more discharge than usual, or perhaps getting yeast infections or BV more often. And just that, frustrating, lingering odor that doesn't seem to go away no matter how good your hygiene is or how carefully you do laundry.
So if this is ringing bells for anyone,
It's really key to understand this means you're likely experiencing an imbalance. It doesn't mean you're unclean. Your body's just giving you signals that something inside needs a bit of support.
Which brings us right back to why just washing clothes more or with stronger stuff isn't the real solution. You're kind of fighting the symptom, not the cause.
Exactly right. Because the odor is microbial, coming from that internal imbalance, it's not just surface sweat. Laundry alone often can't fix it because, well, you might be constantly reseeding your clothes with these odor-causing bacteria every time you wear them.
Oh, right.
And some of these microbes are clever. They create these sticky things called biofilms. Think of it like a protective slime layer they build. These biofilms can really embed into fabric fibers, making them super tough to get rid of with just regular washing.
So washing just skims the surface.
Pretty much. The real source, that internal imbalance, isn't being addressed at all. So the focus really needs to shift from the laundry basket to healing the root cause, your internal bacterial landscape, your terrain.
Okay, so if creams or sprays only mask things, how do we rebalance from the inside? What's the key to actually stopping this cycle?
This is where targeted probiotics come into play. Specifically, probiotics designed for vaginal health. By consistently adding beneficial bacteria back into your system, you can help restore that healthy vaginal pH, that slightly acidic state.
And that helps crowd out the bad guys.
Exactly. It naturally suppresses the overgrowth of those odor-causing microbes. It can also help reduce inflammation, which might be causing some sensitivity or irritation. Over time, this often leads to improvements in discharge consistency and, crucially, a reduction in odor. And by fixing the source, you naturally stop that cycle of recontaminating your clothes with the bacteria causing the smell in the first place.
That makes sense. And when we look at solutions designed for this, especially for active women, they often take a really comprehensive approach, right?
They do. Effective formulas often start with a potent vaginal probiotic blend. We're talking high CFUs, that's colony-forming units, a measure of live bacteria, sometimes billions per dose. You look for specific lactobacillus strains known to be beneficial, like L. acidophilus, L. rhamnosus, L. reuteri, L. plantarum. These are the workhorses for restoring pH and blocking unwanted bacteria.
So it's more than just any probiotic.
Definitely. It needs to be the right strains for that specific environment. And then good formulas often add other supportive ingredients, like cranberry and D-mannose. These are well known for helping flush out things like E. coli from the urinary tract, which can sometimes be related to vaginal balance too.
Okay.
You might also see natural antifungals, think oregano lymph extract or caprylic acid. These help tackle yeast overgrowth and other microbes that contribute to odor, helping keep things balanced.
What about those biofilms you mentioned, the sticky stuff?
Yes, some of the more advanced formulas actually include specific enzymes, like protease and cellulase. Their job is literally to help break down those stubborn bacterial biofilms, making them easier to clear out.
That's clever.
It is. And for soothing irritation, you might find things like aloe vera or arabinogalactan, which also supports immune health. Plus, sometimes you'll see blends with herbs known for microbial cleansing, things like anise seed, black walnut hulls, or wormwood.
Wow, quite the arsenal.
It can be quite comprehensive. And some even include adaptogens, like reishi mushroom. Adaptogens help your body cope with stress.
Which you mentioned earlier can affect flora.
Exactly. So it helps address that angle too, especially for women with intense training schedules or just high-stress lives.
That really covers a lot of bases. And we've seen products in this space with long track records, like over a decade, millions sold, tons of positive reviews. Often they highlight being maximum strength, multi-strain, non-GMO, made in certified facilities, all good signs of quality. So for someone listening, what's the actual experience like? What changes do women typically notice when they achieve this better balance using something targeted like this?
Well, after consistent use, usually you'd give it about 30 to 60 days, to really see changes women often report, first and foremost, much less post-workout vaginal odor. They talk about a feeling of freshness that just lasts longer, even if they're wearing tight workout clothes.
And the clothes themselves.
Their gear actually starts smelling cleaner after washing. Because the source of the persistent odor isn't constantly being reintroduced, many also notice more comfortable periods, maybe less problematic discharge, and definitely fewer episodes of yeast infections or BV.
Less irritation, too.
Yes, less irritation from things like legging seams or underwear elastic. It all points towards a calmer, more balanced internal environment. It's not magic, it's just microbial harmony, you could call it. When your internal ecosystem is supported, your body stops producing those pungent byproducts, so your clothes don't end up absorbing them.
So sweating without the smell really is possible. Okay, besides focusing on internal balance with something like a targeted probiotic, what other lifestyle tips can help maximize results?
Great question. There are definitely complementary habits. First, fabrics matter. Choose breathable, moisture-wicking materials. Look for cotton gussets in underwear and leggings. Seamless tech fabrics can be good for airflow, too.
Makes sense.
Second, wash your gear ASAP after wearing it. Don't let it sit in the hamper festering.
Guilty. Okay, noted.
Third, use gentle, fragrance-free, pH-friendly cleansers for your body. And remember, only cleanse the outside, the vulva. Never douche or use harsh soaps internally.
Right. Crucial point.
Fourth, hydrate. Drinking plenty of water makes your sweat less concentrated, which can mean less intense odor overall.
Easy enough.
Fifth, try to avoid wearing synthetic panty liners every single day. They can trap moisture and heat. And finally, rotate your workout gear. Don't wear the same pair of leggings 2 days running, even if they seem clean. Give them a proper wash.
This is all so practical. Look, you deserve to feel fresh and confident when you're active. You shouldn't be worrying about odor or feeling self-conscious. And you definitely shouldn't feel like you're constantly battling your laundry pile or buying new workout clothes because the smell won't budge. If your gear persistently smells funky, remember what we've discussed. It's not about being unclean. It's likely a microbiome signal. And the fix, as we've explored, is often much more about internal support and balance, which is actually pretty empowering.
Absolutely. Think of that smell as more than just a nuisance. It's valuable information from your body suggesting it needs internal support. By restoring your vaginal flora, maybe with clinically backed probiotics and those supportive ingredients we talked about, you address the problem at its source. No more masking, no more worry. Just aiming for that natural, confident freshness that lasts.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on. If that persistent odor in your workout clothes is one signal about your internal balance, what other subtle signals might your body be sending? Signals you could learn to tune into and support. And if you do want to understand what's going on with your intimate health on a deeper, more personalized level, we found a really cool resource, vaginalquiz.com. It's this quick, science-backed quiz. Takes less than 2 minutes, apparently. It's free, totally private, and gives you a personalized analysis of your vaginal health, designed specifically for women who want real answers. After the quiz, you get a custom breakdown of your profile, some insights into potential imbalances, and expert-backed suggestions tailored to your symptoms and lifestyle. It might even suggest specific supplements or habits that could help restore your natural balance and boost that internal confidence. Think of it like a little cheat sheet for understanding yourself better without needing awkward appointments or getting lost in endless online searches. So if you're ready to feel better, maybe smell fresher, and just take control of your feminine health in a smart, empowered way, check out vaginalquiz.com. Your body's been sending signals. Maybe it's time to really listen.